Grilla?
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah. Hey, hello,
Dun,
Toy
dun,
Friend. Back.
dun.
I'm Will. That's Bob.
Hey,
Bob, Bob. I'm me,
Bob,
and we're
Will.
here. How's it
Yep,
going, everyone? Let's say hi to the people in the chat.
yep.
Like
Good
Smog.
Kirk showing
What's
up.
up? What's up, y'all?
Hey,
Manamana. Oh
and Antoine.
yeah. What's up? Same time. Uh, World made a cardboard
Hey.
only here for a few minutes. I have to clean out the utility room. Had to buy a new washing machine.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Sorry to hear that. Uh, did it come in a cardboard box? Ian, right on point with that one, buddy. Because yeah, that's plenty of cardboard.
Oh
The
yeah.
best part about it. What's up, Addie? How's it going?
Hey.
And you know what, Ian? Right on point again. Hey, howdy.
Yep.
So how we doing here? We got Ian said hopefully it's being delivered tomorrow. I want a big $850 box for all my troubles. Yep. Florida Thane, what's going on, buddy? How are
Hey,
you? And Reconnect Toys.
what's
Oh,
up?
hey, Reconnect's here. How you doing, man? All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So yeah, if you guys saw the thumbnail and the thing. I really wanted to
Mm,
go kind of farther into that, and I've just been a heck of a week, man. Just really hard. I've got anyway, I'm just being pulled in three different directions all week, and it's kind of crazy. And I
mm,
really haven't had much time to sleep, let alone do anything. So today's like the first day I've had a nice quiet morning, but I was really trying to cram as much stuff into um, coming up with the show and all that, and
mm,
getting going. But what really sparked this is just over the last couple months, really since like Joe Fest or prior to that, a lot of independent artists taking up you know taking the helm, so to speak, and creating their own stuff and putting things out. And then, we're also seeing a lot of 118 love from companies and, Mattel, Hasbro, and all the other good ones there. Joy Toys, like killing it with the 118 stuff. Um,
and they're even
there's,
delving into 125 again.
yeah, there's tons of stuff out there. You know what I mean? Alfred, how are you?
Hmm.
And it's mind-boggling how many options we have nowadays,
Oh yeah.
and everyone has their favorite flavor or favorite format or favorite scale, and there's
Mm,
so many different things, but um with so many choices, it's like, where do you spend your money? You can't get it all. Like Audi said, we don't have Batman money.
oh, I wish.
We don't have.
Had,
You spend it where you can, and
mm,
that's it too. So the verses in that first slide there, or in the it's not verses like one's better than the other. It's
mm,
like, with so much, I guess, like how do you determine, I guess, in what means, and I just figured we'd open the discussion to those in the chat and
mm,
between you and I on how we feel about, independent creators versus the corporate monsters out there, and you know the pros
yeah.
and cons of each. There are pros and cons. There are things
Mm,
that either one does better or that satisfy our urges or collecting urges better. Whereas from my standpoint, um I really
mm,
like the creativity, the imagination, the
mhm,
detail, and the sense of wonder I get from discovering a new IP or a new line. Um, that to me is what was my favorite thing about childhood, and
mhm,
discovering these great properties that came out in the 80s and 90s. Uh, I While I did like to see, like for example, I'll say, like, even though I'm not actively collecting them, like what Mattel did with He-Man and the Motu stuff, kind of bringing
yeah.
it back where they didn't really change. Well, they had like four different lines out, but in that one main line, it was kind of like the same He-Man, but with better articulate, like modern
Mhm.
improvements. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was, I thought they really, hit the nail right on the head with that line. Uh, but I'm tiring of, I guess, just a rehash of all this,
Mhm.
Hey, look, guys, it's me again. Hey,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, all right, yeah, I
It's
like it.
like a meme I saw a while back that was like a faux advertisement for like toys and whatnot. And at the top, it was like selling you the same stuff we did 40 years ago.
Yep.
You know,
Hey, thank you so
and that's
much,
what
my small world.
oh, thank you.
Mike, that's great. Thank you so much. That's Zaymot Rogue. Zaymot,
Hmm.
new member. So thank you
Yeah.
so much, buddy. But yeah, all I have to do, Ed, is this: I'm broke. It is fun to spend money on toys, but not a washing machine. Yeah, I got you, brother.
Yeah.
You listen. Yeah, a washing machine box full of toys would be much more fun than a washing machine
Mm-hmm.
itself in there.
Yeah. The last
Greetings and
time I had to,
salutations, all.
yeah, to buy a new
Yeah.
dryer, I went to like the scratch and dent used dryer store that's not too far from my house and got a pretty good deal on an older style
There
dryer.
has never been a time in my life that I understood why someone wouldn't get the scratch and dent on an appliance, because it's like it's just a
Hmm.
machine that has to do something. Like
Exactly.
I don't know, and people are like, oh, I don't want that washer. It's got a dent. You know, like, do you think your friends are going to come over for I don't know, whatever, and they're going to be like,
Mhm.
beautiful home, Bob, but I did notice that ding on your washer.
Mm.
you,
Yeah.
you
I
must
can
be,
tell you from experience, I have people over every so often for
yeah,
game nights, and the last thing they care about is my washer and
yeah.
dryer.
Did it have any scratches on the side or back?
Yeah.
Let me check that. No one cares. If it works, it works. It just has to function. That's all I care about.
That's yep, same
You
here.
know, so
Although I do miss not having that faux wood stickers on
phone
the
would
washing
sticker on
on the
the back
dryer. Like
panel. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Scratch and dent. Tell that to my wife. Oops, sorry. Yeah, yeah. I didn't mean to get you in trouble, but I
Yeah.
know who it's important to. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I look for that. I'm like, wait, hey, that scratched one. That's cheaper, right? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mhm.
Come on, come on.
And to tie this all back to toys, like if I see a figure on the pegs, which that I want, which isn't often, but if there's one with a dinged up card, that's the one I'll pull because I know other
Sure.
collectors probably won't want it.
Yeah, if
You
you're
know.
an open, if
Hmm.
you open your toys and you play with them, the box means nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Get rid of it. It's not a big deal. Just like I don't mind. Also, like just another side track is like looking for a vehicle or a play set. I don't mind picking one up that's got a couple scratches, or maybe something's broken off, or it says Timmy on the bottom of it or something.
Hmm.
Like it's been played with. I don't care,
Yeah.
man. I think that's
That's
cool.
battle damage.
Yeah, battle damage is fine for me. I actually like that. So that doesn't turn me off. And a lot of times it's significantly cheaper. If you want to buy the pristine condition, that's fine. That's if that's your game. Every piece, every little bit and bop is on there and in perfect condition. By all means, search that out. But you'll pay
Hmm.
significantly higher, and that's fine. Some people, they wear that like a badge of honor. They love that their thing
Oh,
is,
yeah.
hermetically sealed in a glass case with a vacuum put on it, and nothing's going to touch it for a million years. It's cast in resin,
Yeah.
it's sealed in a block of, but
Hey,
it's
it's your
like,
collection. It's your
do
money.
it how
You
you
do
like.
with it.
I
Yeah.
like my stuff, kind of cheap, good, cheap fun. I'm into
Yeah.
that,
Playable.
yeah, constant rehashing of my childhood toys, same shit, higher prices. That's why I'm beating the Eagle Force drum. Sure. Yeah, there
Exactly.
you go. So there's like Zame out there with he's really into the Eagle Force. So are you,
Yeah.
Bob, and that's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
a modern figure. And then there was some, so like if we look at like the thumbnail, obviously there's some that are definitely independent companies here, and then there's some that are definitely corporate entities. And I was kind of, I had more time. I was going to have a kind of middle ground there because,
Mhm.
at first, is Eagle Force Fresh Monkey Fiction is are they still an independent toy company, or have they transitioned now to where because they're pumping out waves every year. They've kind of,
It's they kind of, I guess, would fall in that middle ground since they partnered
Yeah,
up with Big Bad Toy Store, but I don't consider, or Big Bad Workshop, I guess is the proper name for it, but I don't consider them on the same level as like Hasbro and Mattel,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
or even like I noticed you had like Super Seven over on the corporate side, and
yeah.
they're another one that's kind of like I would put it in a
Would
gray
you? Oh,
area in that
okay,
middle ground.
okay. I just figured with the way they've expanded and the amount of IPs they own that they were on the corporate side now. But it's
Well,
just that,
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, because
they're
they're
kind
putting
of
out pretty
corporate,
big
but
numbers too, and in several different
yeah,
lines, and like their portfolio is just huge. But that's fine. I think they
yeah,
bridge.
oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
not
I
like
mean,
because
it's different perspectives, I guess. I
Mattel and
mean,
Hasbro are
I
the
don't know.
big two.
Oh yeah,
Those are the big two. And I guess under that umbrella, there's other ones there. There's Jack Pacific, Spin Master.
hmm
All would be very corporate. But Rich from Reconnect says, as an independent toy maker, he may be biased. But mainstream toy companies are not producing new and exciting IPs that capture the
yeah,
attention of
exactly.
adults and kids. And
hmm
that's another thing I was going to say is, some of these independent toy lines are definitely catering to the specific market, which is adult collectors. I do like the ones that, while it's fun for adult collectors, you could just as easily give it to your niece, nephew, son, daughter, granddaughter,
Yeah,
whoever, and not feel like we're not talking about it's like what are the like Mezco makes like some really high end like 112 it's like a
you're right.
statue or
Yeah,
something. Those are clearly not in any sense of the imagination a toy.
yeah.
Um
But people like Delta 17
sure.
and again Super 7 that are making their O-ring figures. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
ones kids can play with too, you know.
And I feel you there, man, because he says he likes the idea of supporting an independent toy maker, which I do too. Part of it
hmm
is not just my needs as a consumer. I do look deeper into that, and I do consider the individual creator when making my purchase, or you know what I mean, or playing with that, or possessing that toy, and
hmm
my opinion of it. But he's saying that most of them are based in North America. I wonder why that is, because there's definitely some talented people across the pond there,
Yeah.
as we've seen before. And I don't know if the
We got damn it, his name escapes me at the moment. The dude that worked for Palatoy who's like super famous for making the original Robo Skull. He was
oh,
in
Bob
England.
Regan, yeah, yeah, sure,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
I can't believe I just totally blanked
No,
on
but
his
yeah,
name. But
the Palatway stuff, they showed innovation. The
Mhm.
versions that they did of even the Star Wars toys and the Action Force
Yeah.
stuff was, innovative, and really took and improved upon, in many cases, the things that they even licensed from Hasbro. So, you
hmm
know, I'm just curious to
Well,
when that kind of
and didn't
self kind of started maker, or community, like these independent toy makers, because they're really kind of making what they want.
hmm
Most of these guys are
there
doing it because they saw that the market wasn't providing what they want, so they're
yeah.
doing it. So I'm just wondering when that's going to jump across the pond, and they'll be cool. Ian, like, will have like some really cool uh European kind of indie project that's not available in the States. I don't know. Like,
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. Well,
where
and you
he's,
would think with the amount of people now coming from the UK to Joe Fest
yeah,
and even
yeah.
from other countries, you'd think that that
Hmm.
creator spirit will eventually, you know, infect them, I guess,
Yeah.
and hop back across
Joy
and start
Toys
making
my
stuff.
jam. Is Joy Toy
Yeah.
corporate? Yeah, they're a corporate company, right? They're not like a little.
Yeah.
They've got a tons of stuff,
Well, yeah. I
and
mean,
they're
I don't
acquiring
know. Yeah.
officially licensed stuff. So, and they're making that. So maybe that's the distinction, Bob. Where, like, we were talking about Super Seven, where
Mm,
Super Seven
yeah.
doesn't have an original IP, whereas like Fresh Monkey Fiction does. Now they borrow from
They
existing
homage.
IPs and
Yeah.
make homages, but
hmm
the world of the Fresh Monkey Fiction kind of universe is their own, right? And these homage characters
Yeah.
exist in it. Yeah.
Well, like Bill bought out the license for Eagle Force. Like Mego used to have it, and they made those little metal
That's
figures
right.
back in the
Okay.
'80s. But he, to my understanding, has totally 100% bought out the Eagle Force license and now owns it.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha. Yeah, because
uh,
I was just saying, like Joy Toy, they have their original Battle Beyond the Stars. Isn't that their
mhm.
original IP,
Yeah, I think so. Or I
or
think
is that
that's the name
based
of it.
on
I know
something?
that not anything I'm aware of.
What is that Battle Beyond the Stars? Is it? Isn't that a movie?
Uh,
Am I messing this
it's
up? I don't
something.
know. Someone correct
It's
me.
something. It's something similar to that, and I
Something
and I
like
think
that.
it's their own
I think that
original
was an
IP.
'80s movie I just made. I just turned into. I don't
Maybe
know.
we'll have to look that up at some point.
Yeah.
But
But Joy Toy, and they're kind of like a thing that branches. That Haya Toys is also one that, for the most part, they're acquiring IPs, even if it's one that
mhm,
was not used or underserved, and they're making products, and they are made for mass distribution. And I would say
yeah,
if it's available in stores, it's probably corporate more so than like most indie toy makers. Like you know, are not really available on store shelves. You got to order directly through their website
or their Kickstarter or
or their
whatever. Yeah,
Kickstarter or something. Yeah.
Mm, I could see where that could be the line, but
Yeah. I mean, I think it goes
uh,
all over, but it's a good time to be a nerd. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah,
there's so much. It's not a bad thing.
yeah.
I'm a
I
Star Wars
remember.
guy at heart, but I'm open to any and all affordable 1/18 figures that fit into my
Mhm.
world building adventures.
Yeah, same
Fantastic.
here.
That's another thing
Yeah.
too. So
Like I've
I've
been
not
mixing in
bought
more
any
Jurassic
TVC
Park.
figures
Yeah.
at retail price
Oh,
this year. I'd say, yeah, same, same.
I
Um,
can't say that. I bought some at retail price. No, but through
hey,
Big Bad Toy Store.
listen, we like what we like, and when we see something we
Mm.
like, we get it, and that's fine. Um,
Um, Most of the time, there are some times where I've had to say no. It's
yeah.
like a good example is that new Tron HasLab that just got announced.
Oh,
It's like
that's a big
I
one. So I was
yeah,
gonna
it's
get
like
into that. So we let's
oh
get through
okay,
the
I'll
comments
wait.
and then we could
All
dive
right.
into that one because
Oh, okay.
that's kind of a big um talking
Yeah.
point talking point
Yeah.
for today. So let's
Oh, okay.
clear the chat and then we'll dive
All
right
right.
into that one. So yeah. Toy companies are still living off of us who grew up in the 80s. They fed us 30-minute commercials for the toys they were
Mm.
selling, and they're now selling us $30 rehashes of the same toys now. Not,
That's a good
yeah,
comparison. Yeah.
that is a good comparison. Audi, my man, Acid Rain is expensive, but he loves them.
Oh
They
yeah.
are a niche boutique company. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
I'm with Ian there, but in reverse. I've got a few Star Wars figures, but for me, it's not affordable. The grabs me its value. Okay, I'm putting $30 in. If it's high quality with a bunch of stuff, then for him it's worth it. Sure, and we all
I mean,
see
we all have a
value
yeah.
in our own ways. You know what I mean? A rich
Hmm.
story or an entire world built before us with additional comics and cartoons and things like that could be the value for someone. You know what I mean? Um, Extra sets of hands,
Hmm.
customizability, pop and swap features, plenty of accessories. Some people like it stripped down where they create the story themselves. They
Yeah.
don't have to have a
Mm.
file card where it's told to them. It's just a cool looking figure, and you figure out where that guy goes into your world.
Yeah.
All these things are definitely, you know,
Yeah.
uh,
For me, a lot of times it's does the character spark my imagination? It's like
yeah,
even before reading the file card or digging into the lore, does a story start developing in my head that it's like, oh, this character and this character and this
yeah.
other
You look at the
character.
guy and go, "What's his deal?" Like this
Yeah.
guy, I want to know what his deal is. Like what's he doing? But yeah, Smog saying he agrees there with Reconnect.
Mhm.
Yep, I want new fun stuff, and big companies just stick to what worked in the '80s, and there's a reason for that they do that
It's
because
safe.
they're not an independent company. They're a
Mhm.
consortium of multiple peoples on different levels all agreeing on what has the proven track record to produce dollars, which is their ultimate goal. Whereas an independent toy collector is saying, I want a guy that looks like this. No company makes that.
Yeah.
Hold my beer. I'm going to make one.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much what they're doing.
The figures that Ed has been cranking out, I'm really looking forward to their
Yeah.
Shields of Liberty set that's coming. That
Oh,
and some of the
so
promos.
yeah, we got. They look good. They look good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're a little backed up there because that's in reference to
Oh,
those guys from the UK coming over to Joe Fest with all the Palatoy stuff. They're smuggling
yeah.
plastic crack across the ocean. Yep.
Yeah.
Uh, smuggled using old Silk Road routes. Battle for the Stars. What did I say? Battle
Oh, there we go.
Beyond the Stars. Alfred, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Stars, battles,
It's
yada
close.
yada
Battle
yada.
Beyond the
Yeah.
Stars or For the Stars. They're very, very Marvin.
Yeah.
How's it going,
Hey,
brother? I
Marvin.
gotta tell you guys, just because Marvin just popped up, I do have a slide in it, but I just received yesterday and then read this morning over coffee my first issue of The Edge. This is issue 1. It is fantastic, guys. I really,
Oh yeah.
really enjoyed this. There
Yeah.
was
We
that.
got
I know there's a preview that you could download for free online. Oh, did you like it, Bob? Good. You know what? We're
haven't read
comic
it yet.
buddies.
It
Oh,
it
okay.
just came in yesterday, and
Yeah.
it's just been kind of a
Oh, okay.
busy weekend getting
You
ready
know,
for
I
next
had to
week's show.
just. I cleared my entire just thing, and I sat down with a cup of coffee this morning, and I just read it. And I don't know if that's just because I went from like such intense kind of having to be on all week and do all these things. And then I just got to
Hmm.
sit there in the quiet and just enjoy a comic book. And it was escape from reality. But Marvin, you and your team did a wonderful job on that comic. I
Oh yeah, I'm
really
looking forward
do.
to
I'm
digging
not
in.
going to spoil it, but I'm just going to say it's action packed. I love the artwork. I love the layout of the pages. I really just liked how everything fit together. The pacing of the story was excellent. And just like in great comic fashion, it left me on the last page just wanting to read number 2. So, perfect, perfect there. It really gave me a good thing. I like the characters. I like where they're going, and I'll definitely be picking up more. So if you guys haven't checked it out, um, it's really I highly recommend it. Uh, Lord of Thane, except for Star Wars, I'm very pick and choose, and I'm just happy
Hmm.
there's so much to pick and choose from now. Yeah, good problem
Yeah.
to have, right?
Oh yeah.
Uh, Battle Beyond the Stars is a movie. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Hey, I mess up sometimes. I'm not too smart in the brain. Yep, Bill owns
We're all here.
everything. And like I said, he's creating new character sublines and new stories, and they freaking age them up. Yep.
Yeah.
Starring John Boy from the Waltons. Yeah. It's Battle for the Stars. Thank you. Thank you very
Okay.
much, guys. Uh, TVC Bespin Lando is still at my Walmart for the original retail price. Well, there is definitely something where I don't think it's a corporate directive that goes out to all these Walmarts because I happen to live in proximity to several Walmarts and everything will be on clearance at one. And I don't know if I did the thing where remember the Eternals movie came out? They had literally like an entire 4-foot section filled with them. And I even wrote in the dust on the boxes and went back several times and they just refused to mark them down. Like the manager's like, I'm not doing this, like defiant or like it just slipped through the cracks. But other people were reporting selling them for, $2 and mine are still, whatever it was, they were 24.99 marked down to 21.99 or something
And
crazy.
now they're like clogging the shelves at Ollie's.
Yeah, like they just did not want to get rid of them,
Yeah.
So you will see some Walmart managers are like, nope, I'm not budging. And other ones are like, I mean, we've seen crazy stuff with Walmart where new product that was supposed to be out weeks ago never showed up. And then all of a sudden it's on the shelf and on clearance, like to begin with, right? Like it just
Hmm.
starts off like, what?
Well, part of that's I think the SKU numbers that Walmart and Target use. Like, the
Yeah.
employees don't care about most of this stuff, let's just be honest,
Yeah.
and I don't
Oh,
blame them. They're only getting minimum wage.
I'm gonna
Most of them
star
probably
that
are.
one because Smog's got some
Oh, yeah.
opinions on Tron HasLab, and we're gonna get into it. We got a little bit here, and we're caught up on chat. So, let's
Okay, yeah.
go.
So
As far as Star
yeah.
Wars goes, I'm going back and buying Force Unleashed figures. My favorite storyline.
Mm,
Hey, very very cool stuff. Yeah, and
mhm.
that's I was gonna also add that in there because you've got like indie, you've got corporate. That's in the modern world, but then down here you got vintage because there's
Yeah.
you could spend the rest of your life hunting down vintage stuff and never fully, complete your collection. So,
Well, and the good thing
what's
about
that
that
smog?
is, at
Rip
least
off, overpriced, give us something new. I know where you're headed, my brother. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Let's get into it. Final Faction was a nearly perfect toy line, a great concept, great price with great play features. And I would say, I think that Arrow ATV that they did and if I had a way to properly honor that, should have won an award for just how clever the design and implementation of that was. They created it's a single seater, but you could put
Mhm.
two figures on the back vehicle for $1.25,
I
and
mean, you
then
just can't beat that price.
250 if you got the add-on package. You know what I mean? Which so
Mhm.
for $2.50, and it's good for that price. It's really good. Yeah. Could
Oh,
you
yeah,
double
yeah.
the price and kind of make it a little more robust and stuff like that? Sure. But I just think as far
Actually, even
as
I was gonna say even at double the price, it'd still be a good deal,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Black Jet Story is coming.
Mm.
Excellent. I want to know more about that guy. I picked up a few of the Final Faction. Yeah, they were just like I said, they were definitely I saw, years ago someone was just blasting them, some toy channel. And I get it. I mean, some people, it doesn't have modern articulation. They were 5 POA, the paint apps, the
Yeah.
sculpts, some of the things might have been a little off on them. But I think the whole thing that was really cool about the Final Faction was, like I said, the price for what you got. Is this
Yeah.
they said you have a budget of $1.25, and I feel like for that price they worked miracles. They got it
Mhm.
to a point where, like I said, it's the amount of effort and the level of quality of those toys versus the price that they were locked into is just
Well, and that was also a toy line that, like, kids could actually afford,
oh sure,
like,
you could go
when we were
in.
kids, GI Joe figures were like a buck 50 or something like that,
Yeah,
or
you got $20 grandma money for your birthday. You got a whole set of Final Faction
mhm,
figures. You're having a great battle. And guess
plus
what?
some villains and
If the
yeah.
dog chews on one or you happen to lose one in a mud pie or something in the in the backyard, you buried them up and dad ran them over with the lawnmower. It's not a big deal. You
It
go get
happens
some more.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Smug, you're right, brother. I did hook you up with a Final Faction
Mhm.
vehicle. Awesome, dude. Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah. That was the Smug, that was the one that they released for that was a different version. I think that the one that they released for Family Dollar stores where it came fully assembled with the driver
Oh,
in a windowed box. It was pretty interesting. And it had paint apps, which was but it was still only $5. Like,
that's not bad.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, the Edge comic is great. Awesome, Pirates. Glad you like it. Um, I've got to go, but I'll be listening. Well, good luck with
Heck,
that, my friend. And
yeah.
lift with your legs, not with your back. All that stuff. Double check for leaks, and
Hydrate,
stay hydrated.
depending
All
on
that good
how yeah,
stuff.
depending on how hot your utility room gets.
Yeah. Smog, you can go to the
Oh,
Edge. I
hang on.
will drop a
I
link if
got something
anyone
here.
wants to.
There we go.
You
There
have
we
a
go.
link?
Well, no, well, not on hand. I can't post links in the chat, but yeah, here is this is some promo material that Marvin sent with the comic for me. So there's the go there. They've also got
Oh, yeah, 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 the
collections.
checklist too, I like that because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
did, the collections, volume 1, 2, and 3. And I think that's the way
Mhm.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
Because
same
I
here.
do like
Mm.
trades like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yep. And I'll grab the Kickstarter link too. So we've got the boom, ba-doom,
Uh, hang
ba-doop,
on.
ba-doop, ba-doop. I got it
You
right
got
here.
it or okay,
Yep,
cool.
that'll take you right there to the edge. So if you want to read the comic, uh, boom, boom,
The figure.
boom. And the Kickstarter is for the Blaine action figure, which I have a couple slides for here too. Uh, I pick and choose. I have a very fixed budget. Totally
Mhm.
understandable. Two of my favorite Fictober creations I've done have been repainted core figures. And one was a
Okay.
kit bash of cores and Spin Master. As a fledgling customizer, any 118 has custom potential. That's really
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
And if I missed it being busy all week, I'll have to go back and take a look. I'd really love to see your work. Uh,
Yeah, there's been a lot of good creations coming from
there's
Figtober
been a
and,
ton of great activity on Instagram, like, and I've missed so
mhm.
much of it. So I will have to go back and do a catch up week because I've been.
Or you can, watch Into the Toy Box tonight because 'cause we're gonna be doing a Figtober, roundup.
Well, there you go. Then I don't
Yeah,
have to. See, you've done it for me. Thank you so much,
we're doing
guys.
it for
Toy
you. Well,
companies are
Brian did all the
making.
work on this one, so thank him.
Yeah. Hey, broken figures are great for practicing painting and customizing.
Mhm.
Carlos, how's it going, brother?
Hey,
We're just gonna talk about you too. Sup, yeah. I'll be listening. I'm finally able to resume recording content, so I'm putting together my next review. Well, you go right
excellent.
ahead. Thank you so much. 79 cents for a Star Wars figure. That's great. Um,
Oh, those were the days.
Smug, what are you looking for? Oh, Smog. Hi, Smog. Oh, as far as like figures. Okay, you guys are all being awesome to each other. Excellent. We're caught
Mhm.
up. Let's talk about Badoosh. Where is it? Oh, let's go back to that one. Hold on. That's right. Hold on.
Yep.
That's later. I messed up. Hold on,
It's
I
all
messed
good.
up. I'm a person. I'm a terrible person. I
Ah,
don't know how to do YouTube. I should quit. Uh,
oh, no, believe me, I mess up all the time on the show.
yeah. Oh well. Oh, speaking of which, though, I did have this the Blaine,
Oh,
the
nice.
modern articulation
Mhm.
superhero action figure. Man, just we dropped the link in the chat. That's still going on there. This is from a couple weeks ago, so ignore that number there.
And you can
But
get the suits, the little troop
yeah,
builder dudes.
post-apocalyptic figures, nice, nice. Yep, we're gonna see plenty of that with the upcoming nukes, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's gonna be good. But let's talk about like so. Here's like one of the I guess downsides, and this is not I'm not throwing shade at anyone, but independent toy creators don't have Batman money, right? They don't have the backing. There are some they go the way of a private investment, right? Delta
Yeah,
17 comes to mind, where Steve and the 5x5 team they put together private investors and they got together and they made the figures and they just came out with them. And their whole thing was
the,
they had to get those investors up ahead, get the tooling, get the product made, and now they have to recoup their money through selling them, right? So
yep,
that's one way to
that,
do it.
that Space 1999, 118 scale project that, Giant Leap and Psycho were doing. They were originally doing a Kickstarter, but then got funders for it, so,
There you go. Yeah.
yeah.
So there are different ways. And then the Kickstarter format is basically, puts a little bit of risk on a lot of people, right? That's
Yeah.
basically it. So you need the money for the funding. People kick into it, and they get it done. Now the turnaround on that is not immediate. We're all big children, We
Yeah,
we want our toys and we want them now. So you gotta wait, right? That's a
and in some
downside.
cases, wait and
Sure.
wait. And
Big corporate companies, they've got R&D places. They're working on product lines for 3 years from now. And when they release the information about them or reveal them, usually maybe there's a short pre-order window and then the product comes out. And then you
mhm,
run around like a maniac trying to find them because they sell out in 3 seconds on a website or whatever happens. Um, all the stuff that's annoying, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Scalpers move in
Yeah.
there. You got all that issues. Um,
Yeah.
so that is a downside to independent collectors, right? Um,
Yeah.
Timelines can be extended, delays can happen, frustration could happen, and in the worst case scenario, I have heard horror stories of people never delivering. I have personally not
Yeah.
experienced this problem, but I've heard.
It
You
happens. I've run into it
okay.
once. So yeah.
So um, then there are these types of people or corporations that decide that they want to make something, but they're also going to have you, the customer, fund it,
Yeah.
which has caused quite a bit of controversy over the years because there are people who absolutely love this model because I think the original kind of tagline for the HasLab was, what was this, like making dream projects possible or something
Hmm.
similar to that line? Like, you
Yeah.
know, these are projects that no corporation would ever just do and put out on store shelves expecting the masses to buy it. But
Well,
if
it's
you
stuff that's so
guys,
big
yeah, if
it
we've got
couldn't fit
enough
on store
interest,
shelves. Yeah.
we're going to do this dream project, this sail barge, I believe it was, like, yeah, we're going to do it if enough of you show your interest with
Mm.
dollars. But then we've noticed that line has become blurred quite a bit, where just kind of mid-sized vehicles or even just regular sized vehicles that, you know, decades past they would just build and put out on the shelves
Mm.
part of a line, are not being made at all unless you do the Kickstarter. And you guys have your finger on the pulse of the community. Keep up the great work. Well, why? Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Yeah. So the latest thing was this Tron 3, or no, is Hasbro 3.75. Hasbro showing love to the 3.75 community, which, listen, if a GI Joe Classified's like, was it 5 years old now, 4 years old, I don't know, right? It's
I
several
like
years
that.
old. They're 200 characters in, and it's one of their most popular sellers. So a lot of people were like, why can't they make like a modern 3 3/4 inch or something, and they came
Mm.
out with a couple offerings and they did some stuff, and I guess they did some marketing or research, and then they sold the rights basically to Haya, for the 4 inch and Super 7, kind of
Yeah, for
abandoning
the O-ring.
their, yeah, which was one of their best IPs. They did something totally unexpected last year with the the Plasma Series 4 pack with the Ghostbusters
Mhm.
figures, which are excellent figures, and they were amazingly affordable at almost what, $40, $45 for 4 figures, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
What kind of scared me off on that though was I knew if I got the 4 figures, I'd also want the Ecto 1, and that
which
was more around
was,
the $60
oh,
or 50.
I thought it was 50. Yeah,
Oh, it may have
Well,
been 50, but
not bad though.
which
If you think about all 4 figures plus the Ecto 1 for $100, that's not too bad.
yeah,
Um,
it's like I like Ghostbusters, but not $100 like Ghostbusters.
Sure, and to
So
me, it was
that's
like, I was like, this was made for me, man. This is like perfect.
mhm.
I loved
Oh
it.
yeah.
Little tweaks on the Ecto 1 that could have made it a little more figure friendly, like fitting the figures in there, and maybe just to add
Mhm.
it. Maybe, sometimes you don't want to do a 1/18 scale exactly. You make it
Smudge it a little,
1/16
yeah.
scale and you make it a little bit bigger just for ease of use. You know what I mean? I would have liked that one. Woodman, what's up, gents?
Yeah, hey.
How's it going, brother? Um, so that Hasbro 3.75 was interesting because you're like, wait, you've sold off like you're one of your best IPs. Um,
Well, one of
and
their in-house IPs,
yeah, well, I'm sorry, yeah, it's like their in-house IPs and one of their best ones.
Mm.
Um, they've shown that they've got the potential to do a famous line in multiple scales. They've been doing the Vintage Collection and Black Series for
Yeah.
a decade now. So you definitely can have both of those. And, while both of those have kind of shrunk over the years, but, they could have done those. It was just really interesting to me that they, or even Marvel characters, because at one point they were doing Marvel Legends and the Marvel
Universe. Yeah.
universe, and now they're doing Marvel Legends, and they're doing smaller ones, but they're more kid focused. They're not for the adult collector, But I like the
Oh,
Marvel
those like Epic
Universe
World.
because, yeah,
Yeah.
Epic World stuff is definitely for kids. It's not meant for adult collectors. As far as accuracy, sculpt level,
Oh,
articulation
yeah.
level, and all that. But they're still fun. I
But
like them.
yeah, playability level there are top notch.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I do enjoy them, whereas the Marvel Universe figures, I feel, bridge that gap. They did both.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
they you could collect those as an adult, you could do that. But anyway, they bring back this 3.75. They announced it at New York City Comic Con. They're doing
Hmm.
Tron. The Tron movie just came out. Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember Tron.
Hmm.
There was Tron
I
figures
like
and Tron
Tron.
toys from when we were a kid. Boom. So what do they got? I don't really have it here. I think I'll pull up their website, and we could just take a look at what you get there. Um, and I guess the thing that stands out the most about this would be the price, right? Is that
Yeah.
where most people are kind of taken aback?
That
It's not that they're doing it, it's not that they're crowdfunding it. It's the the value, I guess, that you're getting out of this, right? Let's look at the project
yeah.
here. Tron Heroes of the Grid 3.75-inch collector set,
Mhm. Whoop.
$259.99.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
Wow. That is tough, especially when I look at like something like we'll talk about Rise of Nexus, where I think the all in for that for 15 figures, right, was
Yeah.
about the same price for 15 figures. That's
Actually, I
15
think it's a
O-ring
little
figures.
cheaper. I
Yeah.
think if you were the VIP, you could get in for like 195 or 200 for the all
And
in, somewhere around
and
in there.
yeah, I was going to say that, we know that and in addition to that, there were some nice packs that Carlos put out last week. Hold on, whoop, that's the
Oh
wrong
yeah,
ones. Yeah,
yeah, it has been pretty fun. The Upsal
yeah,
Psychos.
yeah,
And,
and this is and on top of that, of the top of the. So he's also put out like several over the last week. You've got T-shirts, these multi packs with the Oops All Psychos, um, the Wolf
Wolfpack, yeah,
Pack. Wolf Pack is something that I was like, oh, I really need that because that's like my
yeah.
character right there. Um, so you got the you could get a
12-minute
pack of
owls.
owls. You could get the yep. Um,
Then
and then
the
there's
two,
one too, the Ninja
yeah.
3-pack as well.
Oh yeah, it's got um the commander, the Cyclone commander that's exclusive to that pack.
Yep.
He's like a different color.
So let me remove that. And we'll go back to this because this is kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
where do you
Yeah.
want to put your money? Everyone has a good reason for putting their money where they put it, right? But
Hmm.
like, is anyone really into this? Is how many backers does it show? How many people have backed this?
Should be down at the bottom. That bar.
869 out of target 10,000. So you're looking at about 10% so far, right? Or 8.6%,
Yeah.
right?
Not.
So, or
Yeah.
8.7, I guess, right? And you got 43 days. You know, so ignoring all of the talk about should a corporation do this, you know what I mean, or anything like that. It's like you get one, two, three, four, five figures and two mini vehicles. These are not, I wouldn't even call these like a full vehicle. They're light cycles. And it
Mm.
looks like they come with a little piece of plastic or cardboard that goes behind them. Cool gimmick. They do
And
come
the
with
base lights up.
the base stand lights up. That's the thing. So you get the diorama, right? So
Yeah. Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, let's
I,
see what Smog has to say about this here, Bob. Unless you
uh,
had something, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say this. Like, I really like Tron. These figures look really great. I like that they have like the double jointed knees. But the price is just like, do I $260 like Tron? You know,
Exactly. Yeah. Do you $260 like John? I don't know. I've heard
I'm
mixed
thinking,
reviews about the movie.
oh well, yeah, I don't really
This
pay
is
attention
based
to
on the
reviews of
original
the movie.
movie. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is based on the original movie. So I liked it. Not enough to buy this.
yeah.
If these figures were $12.99 at Walmart,
Oh yeah,
and the
I'd
cycles were even
just
25
clear the
bucks,
peg. Yeah,
I'd get them all just to get them. I'm just
yeah.
saying, But at that price, if we were looking at it, let's just say even I do $15 a figure, right? I would do it. Plus let's just say they're even gouging us, right? $30 per cycle, right? That's $150 for all of it. That still seems steep. I might wait for clearance. I might buy
I'd 150. I'd be in because
would you?
well, you look at like a Joy Toy or a
Yeah,
Acid
true,
Rain
true.
figure, and they're
Okay.
like 30 to 45
Yeah.
dollars,
And you got
and
the
great. I only
base.
pick and choose, but I still pay that price sometimes. So
Yeah,
I
you got the
I'd
diorama
go.
set. So let's say they packaged it together with the five figures. You got to buy the 5 pack with the diorama set for $100. Would you do that?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And then, 50
that I'd
bucks for
do.
the rest. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
that would be, guess what? Fans, and they don't need to crowdfund it. They could have just did a pre-order. And if enough
yeah.
people pre-ordered, they go
Well, this
through
should have
with it,
just been a store release. I mean, you got the movie coming out now, even
Yeah.
though these are like the older movie characters. You know,
It's
yeah,
definitely
this
aimed
should
at
have been a.
adult collectors, though. This is not looking
Oh
to
yeah,
capture the imagination or the hearts of children.
yeah,
So Smog saying the Tron HasLab doesn't make sense to him. 260 for 5 figures, 2 vehicles, and a display stand. He would say 190 at best. So I didn't look at that
y-
comment before we kind of did our little goat math here and looked at that. But
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
it's about a
190 would even
$300
seem
with the
reasonable.
surcharge. That
Yeah,
does seem. It seems like it's twice as much as it should be,
yeah,
and they
but
need
it lights up.
10,000. 10,000. Yeah, it lights up. It's got
Yeah,
lights. It's got electrolytes
yeah,
because that's what
yeah.
clients crave. The
Oh yeah,
electrolytes. Yeah, yeah. It's got
you are on the
electrolytes.
right track there. Yeah. And,
Uh,
and Smugs right here is like
yeah.
Tron is niche. I mean, Tron is almost like Micronauts and Microman niche.
Seriously, though. Yeah. All right. Like,
Uh,
I'm just saying that's pretty crazy, right? I mean, they need 10,000 people to do it. So they need what is that even? What is that? 10,000
I'd
times
have to pull out the
250.
calculator.
Is that $2.6 million or something? Or is it
Mm,
$250,000? I don't know.
it's a lot. Let me
No,
see.
isn't that
Let
two
me
point
see if I
five
can.
million
Let's,
dollars that
let's,
they want? Or is that 200?
let me see.
Am I wrong? Do the math.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah. Okay. Wait.
Well,
Hold on.
I'm gonna let
Someone else
calculator
did
do the
this.
math.
Okay. Hasbro's going through an identity
Uh,
crisis right now. They need to better focus as a company. Absolutely. And I would just love for one of these guys, Mattel or Hasbro, to come out with one new IP that just captures the imagination of children and adults alike. I would be all over it, even if it wasn't something I like. 260 times
Yeah,
10,000, that's
yeah,
$2.6 million, right?
million.
Am I reading
Yep,
that correctly?
you are.
That is
Calculator
crazy.
confirms. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even need to go through all that because I should have just kept up with the chat. Thanks.
Mhm.
Thanks, Amot. Adrian Butler. The question is also fan base. How many people does Tron actually fit into their world, building or headcanon? I don't
I
know.
could I could fit them into my world, in my head
Sure.
canon. I
Okay.
mean, if I can merge Microman with Star Wars in my head canon and Thanos and Galactus and work them in, I can work Tron in, but not for $260.
Y- Yeah.
You know?
The Tron price includes the Disney tax, adult
Yeah.
collector tax, tariffs, and a donation to the new Hasbro headquarters fund. Slay, roast it.
Yeah. Hey,
Yo,
you
Toy Connections, what's up? I'm worried if this HasLab fails, Hasbro will think 3.75 doesn't work anymore and will be hesitant to be on doing more 3.75-inch figures. Uh, true.
that
That's a true worry to have, but
mhm.
I don't think the reason this isn't going to make it is because of the scale. That's all.
Yeah.
And for them to blame it on that, I think would be dishonest because I don't think
Yeah.
the scale's the problem. I think it's the scale of money that
Yeah.
they're looking at, the pay scale that they've got attached to this. Uh, Rich is saying, I think it's all of the above: the pricing, the
Mhm.
crowdfunding, the rehashing of an IP from 4 decades ago. Corporate toy companies aren't taking risks of launching something new and original.
Yeah.
They just won't do it. But I think that's how you had hits because yes, for every IP that came out in the 80s and 90s, right? We remember the big ones. There's
Mhm.
smaller, less known ones that did not last as long and make $1 billion. Like there's plenty that
Yeah.
faded out.
Yeah, I remember as a kid in Kmart, you'd walk past the Star Wars aisle, the GI Joe aisle, and then there'd be the aisle of like everything else of like
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
Robotech was on there for a while. Those Warlord, uh, He-Man knockoffs were on there for a
Sure,
while. Yeah, all sorts of
sure.
stuff. But
I like that HasLab because it's modern, not doing O-ring. Okay, but it's a bit
fair enough.
high. Like 50 USD is too much. Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure. And like I said, that's a preference. And when people talk about O-ring, I don't know. I know people have said that the O-ring itself is kind of an antique. It's a obsolete kind of format. And I would say that do like it, but the proportions on an O-ring figure and the sculpting versus on a modern figure, they're similar, but I don't know. There's just something stylistic about the O-ring figure. I wouldn't even mind if the O-ring wasn't there anymore. Like they use some kind of ball joint or some
Hmm.
other modern kind of thing. The rubber band's not what does it for me. It's the
Like,
aesthetic is what I
yeah,
prefer.
that's one of
But
the reasons I like the Eagle Force line so much. Instead of an O-ring, they've got a ball socket joint
yeah,
connecting the
and I will
thing,
say that
and it gives you all that O-ring playability without the rubber band.
yes. Yeah, and I would say that Eagle Force and is kind of like the apex of that modern construction quality. I guess the build.
Mhm.
Like I think it's good. It really doesn't really
Yeah.
lack anything, and the
Well,
proportions are well done and everything
mm,
like that. Whereas I don't know if you remember some of the earlier GI Joe 25th anniversary stuff, and like some of the
yeah.
Marvel Universe figures were just like kind of weirdly hyper articulated,
Mhm.
overly articulated and loose,
Yeah.
and they weren't able to kind of hold the pose, or they just looked like they had no bones or something. I think someone said one time
Yeah.
they looked like a little crazy.
Yeah.
150 would be reasonable, but 259 plus fees, right?
Yeah.
Toy Connection saying,
Shipping.
"Hey, what's up? Would there be $50 Hasbro Pulse non-membership charge?" I don't know. I've never backed a Hasbro Kickstarter, so I don't know.
Uh, when I did the canteen, I don't think there was an extra non-member
Okay,
charge. I don't recall one being there
yeah,
unless
they
they
just
just worked it into the base price.
I've seen some and I like them, but there was never anything they did where I was like, I have to have it. So,
Yeah.
um, Scotty, what's happening, brother? I want Tron to stay in the original 3.75 scale. Great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're
So say we
doing.
all.
What's funny about that too is I think I've heard that in the 112 scale they're doing retail releases,
Hmm.
which is like nutty.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. Wood
I
man.
mean, it maybe they showed these 375 offerings to the various retailers
Yeah.
before, and the retailers were just like, "Nah, we don't want to carry that." So
Zayma
maybe
Rogue
that's
here.
why they. I don't know.
He just snapped my O-ring, man, with this comment. The O-ring resurgence is just another poke at our nostalgia button. I'm glad everyone is happy to get them, but I'm not biting. You
Fair enough.
just
Yeah.
stretched my figure like my cousin used to do, right? And broke the O-ring, man. You just busted me up inside. I'm all broken up. No, I'm kidding. Uh, it's fine. Yeah, I
Hey,
get it.
there are plenty of
Uh,
options that everybody can find
sure,
something to make them
sure.
happy.
Everyone has that, and I gotta say, yeah, I'm hopelessly just attached to that format, the O-ring format. I love it. To me, that's like peak. The fact that I'm getting new stuff 30, 40
Mhm.
years later in that format that I have such fond memories of is just great for me. And I know it's not for everyone. Um, but we have there was no additional charge for
Yeah,
the
Bjorn.
ghost. Okay, thanks, Bjorn. Thank you for clearing that
Cool.
up. And hello. The 112 figures are based off the new movies. Okay, but they didn't do 118 scale figures based off the new movies. 112 is much more popular. Yeah, they do. They
Yep.
are getting. They've been getting all the
Fat.
love. They've been getting
It's
all the
just fat.
love lately. These Tron figures are modern construction. Yes, they are.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. Um, and I'm looking forward to those Lincoln Monsters Kickstarter going live on Halloween. That looks interesting. I have seen chatter on social media. But once again, I was really kind of swamped this week, so I didn't get a good chance to kind of dig into all of that. But I did like what I saw. Uh,
Yeah, I saw someone briefly. I think they're 5 POA though. Could be mistaken,
they are five
but
POA figures, which is fine
I,
because I think that's very reminiscent of the. Some people love the
oh
stuff.
yeah,
I have some
I'm
five
not
PO.
dissing on 5 POA.
Yeah,
It's just not
listen,
my
I
thing.
got some five POAs that I just love the character. I love
Mhm.
what do I sit there sometimes and go, man, I wish I could go like this with your arm? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But it's not a deal breaker. Uh, Smog, he's a young man, right? Never grew up with
Mhm.
O-rings, but buying them when we all had or the modern figures was an experience I'll never forget. Yep, yep. All you had was modern figures. Yeah, sure.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Uh,
Oh,
5 POA,
interesting.
but mix and match. I do like that
Huh.
pop and swap kind of compatibility, like Golios. You can pop and swap the body
Okay.
parts.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you can make a mummy with a
Hmm.
wolf head and fish arms. Very fun. I think
Or you could go to
that's
Super 7 and just go
how
ahead and
are
get
those,
your Gill
Bob? Yeah,
guy.
let's pull
Yeah.
them up. I want to see a bigger
Oh, okay.
hold on, I want to see that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's big enough. Hey, looks
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
So
And they even got all those fins on the back
yeah, I kind of haven't
and
ordered any of those. I hope they don't sell out. Oh,
probably
yes.
good. Oh, they nailed Bela Lugosi on this one.
How's the cape?
It's good. It's kind of a fabricy, not
Okay.
I don't know, not like fabric you would wear, but and then it's got a little elastic band that holds it on. The collar doesn't always stay down, but yeah, I think they did a great job on these. My only complaint was that the one I wanted the most, the Wolfman, because having seen this as a kid, I was like, oh, that would always be cool to get a Wolfman figure. Mine had a little, well, I don't know if you can see it on the camera here,
Yeah,
but
I see a little
the
split in the upper arm.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not quite in there right. Huh.
yeah, a little glue. I mean, it's
You
there.
can't
It's
you
just
can't
the
kind of
little
give that a little
seal.
pinch and snap it together? No.
Oh no, I mean a little, yeah, a little glue right there, and
Okay.
on the underside
Yeah, it's
of
still a
stick it
shame though. You
together.
don't want to see yeah, like
Yeah,
a little
like right out of
QC
the
thing like that.
package, it's like,
Yeah,
but like I
that
said,
is
it's not a
something.
huge
But they
deal.
look
But
good. They look
yeah,
good. I'm down for them. I like my O-ring figures. I just haven't had a chance to really dig in there. Now, are those part of the thing where they raise the prices on them?
no, these were still $20 each. So
Okay, which is That's another thing. That's another factor we could
Yeah.
talk about is independent companies having to charge more
Yeah.
than their competitors. But then we see that corporate companies like to rise that price up as far as they
Mhm.
can, you know what I mean? And we've seen
Yeah.
that
Like,
to the detriment of the entire line where Target will get, I remember those the vintage collection
mhm.
deluxe figures which were like $27, and
Yeah.
then they
Well, and
like the peg never sold. Like they just sat there and then they went clearance for $5, and it's
yeah.
like
Yeah. I picked up some extras at Ollie's for like, I think $5 a piece.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's like if they had just priced them 19.99 from the beginning, they would have sold them.
And speaking of 1999, Hasbro has announced that TVC regular figures are going up to 1999 next year. So
Really.
I'll be
Yeah.
getting fewer of those.
So
Um,
where it still hurts and I still go, I cringe at the price of an independent toy
yeah.
company's figure at being at $25 for a single figure. I also know that these people are kind of making something, or, even,
Mhm.
a vehicle being over $100 or something. It makes sense when it's like, it takes a lot to get something made. Like, I'll bring up.
Yeah.
I'm working on my little playset thing. I wanted to sell 3D prints of, and
Yeah.
I'm doing the math in my head, and I'm saying even with me designing it, making it here at the house, I want it to be affordable. But then I'm going, geez, there's really no way to do this and make it worth the time to do it
You're right. Do it in like in
without
scale. Yeah.
charging, more than what I wanted it to be. Like just the time assembly, I guess, and that's not even including like the design time or any of that stuff. And that's not even having it manufactured. That's creating something that I would just produce, put
Mhm.
in a box, and ship to you on demand, right?
Mhm.
I can't even make that make sense. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
financially for what I wanted to do it for. And so I understand that, yes, I'm paying what some people who, and I know it's easy for someone who's not into something or interested in it to just go, oh, that's a damn ripoff. Hmm,
Mhm.
$25 for this much plastic? Oh, geez, I could buy this much plastic. I could get a whole shampoo bottle for 2.99.
Yeah.
Like down at the dollar
Like
store.
it's it's
Like
it's not the same. Yeah.
it's not the
Shampoo
same.
bottle is like one piece,
Yeah,
two
it's not
tops
the
with the little
same.
lid,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not the plastic's not the thing. It's
Mhm.
it's what it's shaped into. But um,
Right. Well, and then the
I
manufacturing process, then it's got to be painted. It's not just slap a sticker on it and shove it out the door.
another thing too is nothing about this hobby makes sense financially. There is no
No.
part of this that makes any sense. So when people do value comparisons, which yes, there's always going to be some. We're consumers, and these are products, so there's always going to be value comparisons. But like the amount of this you get for that, none of this makes any sense anyway. We're all kind of mentally challenged for spending a bunch of money on plastic,
Yeah.
useless junk anyway. So it's like, you know,
Hey, there are different ways though to get that
hey,
emotional high that you get from
sure,
like playing with your figures that are not as healthy. So
yes,
spend money on
yes.
figures.
I'm glad we're getting cheaper vehicles thanks to Spin Master. Yeah, sure. You'll
Mhm.
see like Hasbro does Darth Vader's TIE Fighter for $150, and you're like, geez, back in the Power of the Force days, a vehicle was like $25. A figure was like $6 or something. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, now a figure's $20 and a vehicle's $150. Like what? What?
That's what amazed me about the Jurassic Park line. Like I got that big Jeep, a dinosaur and a figure, $35 or
Yeah,
40, 30, somewhere between 35 and $40.
those are well made.
It's like,
That is a
yeah.
toy line that I think bridges the gap well. And I
Hmm.
think it's underrated in the community because Well, a lot of us buy the vehicles to use for other stuff, like make a
Sure,
space
but
vehicle or military vehicle out of. But
yeah,
um,
at $35 plus the other stuff,
yeah,
yeah, it's like,
Mattel makes Jurassic Park, and they're doing a
hmm
terrific job. The figures are well made. The sculpts have gotten a lot better.
yeah,
Um, the vehicles, the packs, the deep cuts, even that they do,
hmm
it's all really nicely done. And like I said, all the toys are rugged enough for a kid to play with them. But they're also detailed enough for an adult to appreciate,
yeah,
I believe. You know, I
I
think
would
they're
say so.
very
Yeah.
good.
hmm
Hasbro's going up in their price. That's fine. I'll get them at Ross a year later, which is interesting, and it is something. Yeah, it is something that they do. Mattel, yep, I believe so.
yeah.
Mattel makes affordable vehicles too. Yep, they do.
Oh yeah.
And I guess what I'm really, saying is it really does depend on the person,
hmm
your needs, your wants, your desires. There are advantages and disadvantages to going one way or the other. And I would say the right answer for most people is a little bit of both,
Yeah.
because while they may be there are people that are 100% against Kickstarters. There's 100%, people against their brand loyal to their brand. They will support Hasbro no matter what.
hmm
They just can't get enough of it. And we all kind of feel and think in our own little ways here. And what tickles my fancy may not tickle yours. It's kind of a thing there. I get a sense of personal satisfaction and enjoyment out of one watching an independent creator realize their dream and bring something from their mind into reality. Like
hmm
just I I'm reading the Edge comic and just knowing that, I just had a little chat with this guy a couple of weeks ago, and I'm
Yeah.
blown away. I think it's just such a great, thing. And I'm happy for them. Steve and Ken from Delta 17,
Oh yeah.
um, meeting and talking with him about the process. If you ever get a chance to talk to Carson from Operation Recall, the
hmm
passion and the amount of work he's put into kind of bringing those legendary creators back and doing something bigger than the toy itself is just a fascinating journey to watch for me.
Well,
Other
and
people look at
and
it and they
also,
go, "Hey, that's a GI Joe knockoff." Hey, dude, yeah,
yeah,
whatever. I don't
yeah.
know.
It's like I really liked GI Joe as a kid. I don't mind more.
I do.
Um, and one thing I really like about the independent creators is they'll show up to conventions and not send like just some pitch man, or some marketing guy like Hasbro
Yeah,
would. Uh, One thing I
yeah,
love about Joe Fest is, I get to like get some FaceTime with like Carson and Troy McKee and Steve and
absolutely.
Ken and
Look
and
at this
all that.
sucker,
And Rich, yeah, we got to
Rich
talk
from
with him for a while.
Reconnect,
Yeah.
man. And you know what? I've been saying it for years. I've done a couple show specials about it, about the lack of
Mhm.
play sets. It's what's kind of driven me to wanting to create my own play set. And then lo and behold, I'm at Joe Fest. I come across this guy, and he's like, "Hold my beer. I got play
Yeah.
sets." Like I did it.
That
I
like
made
attach
them.
magnetically. They're
Yeah.
great looking play sets.
No, but I got to chat with him. I got to hear his
Mhm.
story,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that means more to me than, you know, spending, my hard-earned money on something that, you know, I don't know, just, some corporate
Yeah.
bean counters put together a thing and said, "Oh, this is gonna tickle their nostalgia bone. Let's
Yeah.
get the syringe and just suck every
Yeah.
drop out of these boys." Um, yeah, you got it, brother. Thank you for
Mhm.
making a cool thing.
Yeah.
Uh, Picking up the helm, and saying we need play sets and doing it in the right
Oh,
scale. You were very
yeah.
you were correct in doing it in the 1/18 scale. So
Mhm. Bjorn made a good point here. Someone I forgot to mention was yeah, Marauder John. He's always at uh Joe Fest and willing to talk to
Sure.
people. And
Well, these are people that actually have a passion for what
yeah,
they're
for what they're
creating is
doing.
what they
Yeah.
wanted to see, and the market wasn't
Hmm.
bringing, wasn't producing. So they're filling a gap that didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
sure.
And that's what
As
makes it better talking to them than just the marketing guy.
Yeah, and
You know?
from a very high level, a lot of people are like, "Oh, another O-ring line. They're all exactly the same." Well, if you're into it, you'll
Yeah.
realize that Strike Force Alpha is very different from Delta 17, which is very
Hmm.
different from Operation Recall, which is very different from what they're doing at Call Sign Longbow, which is, equally just as different from what Rise of Nexus is bringing to the table. And ultimately, no one could argue that Nukes is anything like anything we've seen before.
Oh
So,
yeah.
they're
Well,
part,
and those are just the big ones. There's still people like Lady J
so-
Toys that kind of reuse molds and repaint them and
yeah, you
come
got
out with
all
some cool
kinds of
stuff.
variations that you
Mhm.
didn't know were cool until you saw him posted on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, there's so much to choose from, and that's what the great thing is. We can't collect it all, but what we can do is
Yeah.
share with each other. And that's the thing, like I've told Michael, or I'm sorry, I've told Zaymont Rogue, I've told Bob, I'm inspired. I love your Eagle Force collection. I have a couple. I just can't get all in on it
Totally
because
understandable. Yeah.
I've been all in on so many other lines, that
Hmm.
I can't do. I live vicariously through you guys, and that's good.
Oh yeah. Like all the 112 collectors, I live vicariously through them.
Yeah,
It's like,
are the Motu
uh,
guys. My
yeah,
Motu pals.
it's like those figures look awesome. Not for me,
You got the
but the
Motu
extent of my
pals. Yeah, you got
yeah.
the Turtle Boys, the people into
Mhm.
turtles. Those
The
robot.
extent of my Motu collection are the my Mega Construct sets up there
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
upper shelf.
You got
They're
those
small, they're fun to build.
Transformers fans. You got those
Mhm.
guys
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. That's a community in itself, and
Oh, yeah.
I got a buddy, my best friend. He collects Transformers. He's always sending me stuff, Transformers wives. And you know
Yeah.
what? Same stuff happens in his community that happens in every Facebook group and or online community with the drama and all that stuff. It's so
Oh,
funny
yeah.
because
Well,
it
everybody's gonna have a little
happens everywhere. You could be in
yeah.
a baking club and the same crap is going to go on. That's humans. That's not the
Mhm.
toy. A lot of times people get that thing mixed up where they go like,
Right.
man, GI Joe collectors are the worst, or Star Wars collectors are the worst, or you know, you know,
And it's usually just the vocal minority. The
yeah, yeah. It's just
Usually the mass audience is just like, "Yeah, whatever, I'm moving on. I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
collect
yeah.
my toys
Uh-huh.
and be happy with them, and we're not gonna get into this
Comic
drama stuff."
collecting, yeah.
Yeah.
Zaymont saying that Iron Man Jet was a good Epic Heroes line. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that thing was great. You're gonna make it the Swiffer jet for the cleaner? Dude, that's actually
Nice.
hilarious. That is really funny, dude.
That'd be
That is
perfect.
really good. That is great. That is a great
Definitely
custom,
post some
dude.
pictures of that when you
That
get it
is
done. Yeah.
excellent. And those are great for that. Also, yeah,
Mhm.
over the week, there was the Amazon deals. There were a ton of really deep down discounts on some Spin Master and Marvel Epic line stuff. So,
Yeah.
um,
Speaking of Epic Line, something I just picked up recently, not from Amazon, but
oh, you got it in. Very cool.
yeah.
Did you pick that up
I think
on
it was like
Target?
25 bucks. No, yeah,
Yeah,
target.com. Goji, the
yeah.
link Goji mentioned.
And is
Yeah.
that is just a three-seater with the fourth
Yeah.
having to clip on? There's no two people
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
seat?
Yeah. Yeah. Although one thing I will say, whoops, well, I've got other figures in there that kind of slide around, but
Yeah, I see Bullet
let me
Man.
pop them out. Bulletman, Micronaut guy. Um, yeah, it's got the three seats, but the
But
two
you
back
could fit
seats are
two.
real thin. Like you
Really?
gotta like
Yeah.
somebody like oops, this dude that's got kind of wide legs and
Uh-huh.
things on the side leg can't fit in the back. It's too tight.
Oh, that's
So
weird. Yeah, that they did that.
yeah,
'Cause it looks like there's some extra space on the walls there, where they could have pushed
yeah,
out a little farther,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Eh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
But
know what I mean? Like where that
yeah,
canopy rests on.
now one feature I do like is the little clip-on
That's a
thing.
neat that's a neat little
Fold,
feature. Yeah, so
yeah, it folds and
so
just if you don't
Johnny could
want
be
it, just
flying. Yeah, I
yeah,
like that.
and then
Yeah, I
so you
think
don't
that's cool.
lose it, it plugs right into the vehicle,
See,
and
that's
just
some good
stays right
yeah,
there. Yeah.
that's some good engineering. But yeah,
Hmm.
very cool. I
But
haven't
for
seen
the
that
price,
movie
this
yet.
is yeah, for the
Um,
price that's an awesome vehicle.
yeah,
So definitely not,
cool.
you know, I wouldn't have bought it if it were like $100, but
Yeah.
you know,
Go
for
check
like
out Scotty's YouTube. He did a nice review of a couple like 1/18 scale arcade
oh
machines
yeah, 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 I saw
and
that. Yeah.
little they're diorama pieces. They're more like dollhouse. If you look in like the girls aisle, they have them there by the Honeybee Acres stuff, right?
Okay.
Is that where you got them, Scotty? Yeah, that's some good stuff. I was looking at some of those as well. Um, Very cool. Smog met Carson at Joe Fest. He was really dope, and he showed me
Oh
the card
yeah.
art for the Desert Redeco. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he real
Yeah,
nice guy,
Carson's a
very
good
approachable.
yeah.
Yeah, all
The
these
the
guys
only
are great.
trouble with like trying to talk to Carson is sometimes there's like a lie. People are just
Yeah.
waiting to talk to Carson about
Oh, and
Operation Recall.
he's always operating at a very like he's up
Hmm.
there. You know, like he goes a mile a minute, dude. That guy, you can't slow him down.
No,
He
no, but
starts showing me
he's a great guy.
prototypes of the Nom stuff. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys love to share. It's okay. Well, you can use my real name on air. Oh, okay. Got it, Michael. So
Mhm.
I mess up all the time. Bob twisted my arm on the Eagle Force. Yeah, Bob is a
Hey,
mean
now,
son of
now to be
SOB when it comes to that.
fair, Bjorn twisted my arm on the blockies, so he got me into the blockies.
You know, I haven't. You guys are sharing those all the time. They definitely look fun. They are technically 1/18 scale, and I didn't want to bring this up or have the debate. You know, I don't consider them 1/18 scale figures,
No, they're like 4 inches.
but they are 4 inches. I get it,
Yeah.
but I just think their proportions are kind of like from a alternate universe or something like that.
Hmm.
They don't do it for me. I see where they're
And that's
fun.
fair.
I get the appeal, and eventually they'll make a character that I just have to pick up and
Mm,
and have on my shelf. It's gonna
yeah.
happen, you know.
With the 4 inch ones, I pick and choose. With the defenders, the smaller ones that are
Uh-huh.
a lot less expensive, uh, those and especially you can order them from the U.S. site, so there's not all that tariff stuff
Yeah,
going on. Um, those are ones I'm like a lot more in on.
yeah. Um, Rich is saying he's been calling it the Big Bang as mainstream toy companies abandon what made them successful in the golden age of the 80s and 90s. Creative, ambitious talents are taking up the
Yeah,
mantle. Yep, yep.
totally agree with that.
That's 100% true
Um,
there. Joe Fest
yeah.
was a wonderful experience for me. First time I really felt like other people enjoyed what I do too. Smog,
Oh
once
yeah.
again, 100%. That's what I
Hmm.
got out of it as well. The camaraderie, um, the basically, oh, you talk toys, I talk toys. Like
Hmm.
people just get you. They understand where you're coming from, and you can have a good time. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not just about
And
the stuff you could pick up at Joe Fest. It's about the people you meet and
and come out to the if you're at the Marriott, come out to the pool after hours and hang out
yeah.
with.
Well, no, he's a young man. I don't know. I don't know. When you're 21, come out, we'll share a drink. Maybe. I don't know how old he is, but he's a young guy. He was there with his parents, I believe, right? Um,
Oh, I don't
yeah.
know.
He came by the booth and
Oh, okay.
got a picture with the Delta 17 guys and stuff like that. So we didn't get to talk much, but
Okay.
I did see him there, and yeah, it
Okay.
reminds me of the
Yeah.
Micronauts
Mm.
blue ship that has a huge tower robot you
Oh
attach from
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. I know
The
what you want.
mobile expo. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if there's much like this silver panel plugs in, but you kind of need it there to clip in the hood. I don't know how much room there is to
Hmm.
put the tower, unless you wanted to put the tower in the front, because you got a lot of like hood
Yeah.
real estate here.
So the thing I've been holding off on that Fantastic Core was that the initial pictures I saw of it were from like Mexico, Amazon. It was like
Hmm.
Amazon Mexico had listings for it. So I was kind of waiting for it to hit Amazon, but it could be a Target exclusive in the US now that I think of it because
And
it's been
maybe
out. Yeah.
so I don't use Amazon anymore, so I was looking for alternatives. But get it from where you know what works best for you.
Yeah. Yeah, the little dollhouse stuff, sure. And then Bjorn, is that a link to Scotty's video where he reviewed the arcade boxes and the little dollhouses?
Probably.
You're the man, Bjorn. You're the man. It's in the live section. I'm working on getting a camera that has more than 2 minutes of recording time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Arm for an arm, Bob.
Fair enough.
Twisting
Fair
arms.
enough. Yeah.
Never found the card, just ordered it. Okay. Admit it, Will. You've been holding out for the Powerpuff Girl blockies. Yeah. Blockies haven't done. They do, man, and they look fun.
Oh
I'm not
yeah.
saying that they're. Yeah, Joe Fest was great. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, buddy. That's great. Yeah.
Hope you can come back again.
Yeah, I'd love to see you guys
I
again.
know it's a long trip for Pirates there.
Yeah. But it was nice to see you there, and yeah. If you don't like Powerpuff Girl blockies, they also released dolls of the girls at my Walmart, and they have huge heads. Okay, great. Well, guys, it's been a great show, great discussion. I
Yeah.
appreciate all of you, chiming in and sharing your opinions. And once again, when it comes to subjects like these, I don't know, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them, it's
Yeah.
like, and everyone is
everybody
one.
poops.
Everyone is one at some point and from
Yeah.
some perspective. So my opinions are just mine. I'm relatively easygoing when it comes to this stuff and pretty forgiving, even when, I think I draw the line at when like someone presents something as one thing, but then produces something or gives it, or just straight up fraud, like I
Mm.
don't like that, but I'm not too picky when it comes to toys because once again, they're just toys, they're things. They're little nuggets of fun that we like to buy and
Mhm.
show off to each other. So it's not a big deal.
And
Um,
and sometimes they're like icon, like physical representations of what's going on in our imagination and head.
yeah,
And
that's all they are. So
yeah,
so
your
thank you so
world doesn't
much.
have to
I
be.
did want to bring this up because Carlos, who's busy, I believe he texted me he wasn't able to make it today. They've got 10 weeks, 10 days left on their Kickstarter. I'm so sorry.
Something
I'm
like that.
totally like out of the loop on
Give me just a
everything,
second.
guys. The Rise of Nexus Kickstarter has, I think, like 10 days left.
Yep, 10 days.
10 days left.
270
They
backers
are
so
at
far, or 270.
$40,000 of 60,000. So they need 20,000 to go. We got 10 days to do it. I really want to see this one succeed. I
Mhm.
like it. If you don't like it, don't support it. That's fine. But rather than just give this away on stream, this is the hand painted by Matt LaCroix prototype of the Cyclone figure, right?
Mhm.
Um, that
Mhm.
he wanted to give away. I thought what I would do is get with Carlos after the show. We're going to do an Instagram post. And I think we're going to just do something like you like, follow, and share that post and try and help get the word out about Rise of Nexus. And from all that list of that post that Carlos and I work on, we'll pick a winner and announce it on next week's show. What does that sound? How does that sound for everyone?
Sounds like a good plan to me.
All right, great. So look forward to that, guys. It'll probably be on both our social medias. I'll send the picture over to Carlos and have him set it up. Okay. So thank you guys so much. You guys were awesome today, man. Lots of
Yeah.
great
Thank
input.
you, everybody.
So
Oh, and
yeah,
to answer Scotty's question real quick, yes, I did get the Galactus.
I
Not
did too.
it's like super articulated like the
Yeah,
HasLab one, but he's still for
his
I think it was
skirt
like
and his
20
shoulder
bucks.
pads limit stuff a little bit, but for
Yeah,
the
but not
price, he's
terrible.
very good.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So good, good, good. Thank you guys so much. Don't remember. Don't remember to
Do
watch.
remember
Don't remember to watch Into the Toy Box later tonight, but
his
do
reverse
remember to
psychology. He
watch it.
really wants
Yeah,
to do. Yeah.
yeah. Over on Outer Multiverses channel, where they'll be going over Figtober and
Hmm.
much, much more. Um, Also next week, Bob, is that when we're going to have our special guest on? Is that I believe
Yes.
that's next
Yeah.
Sunday. Gaz
Next
will be
Sunday.
joining us,
Yeah. We'll be
and
talking
we'll be talking.
some tokusatsu toys or special or stuff like Godzilla, Ultraman, Super Sentai, and then the plan is to then do that in like the first half, and then later on into the toy box. go over Common Rider.
Very cool,
Uh,
because I still
so
have a case of Common Rider that you twisted my arm into buying that I never opened or built. And I
oh,
need to
you
dig
should
that
do
out and probably get it going for next
yeah.
Sunday. Because I immediately after the show we did, because that's a nice 1/18 scale toy line
Hmm.
by Bandai, right? Does that?
Yeah. Bandai.
Yeah, I went ahead and bought like that whole wave, and it's been what, 2 years now. I think that was
Oh,
like the
has it
first.
been?
Yeah, that's been like the first. That was like the first 1/18 show that we did. I had you on as a guest, and we talked about that. So that was a
Oh,
long time ago, but
well, bust them out. I think you'll enjoy them.
yeah. Uh, all right. World Made of Cardboard does not remember how to remember. Remember not to forget to remember to see us next week and all the
Yep.
shows and all that stuff. And don't forget to remember to have a great week, everyone. Thank you so
Yep.
much.
Take it easy,
We'll talk to
everybody.
you soon.
Thank you.